delivered some news that I took as bad news because it was basically a very forced. I was going to have to come to terms with the idea that my living situation was never meant to be permanent. And I was reminded of how temporary it was a few days ago. And so that really like sent me kind of like spiraling down this path of I don't know what to do next. Like I'm not really ready to move yet. I wasn't expecting to move. And it left me in a dark place. But in the middle of that dark place, I came to realize a few things. One, when the physical world around you feels like it's not giving you what it is that you need or what it is that you expect, you need to reach down inside of yourself and remind yourself that spirit is always there. Spirit is always providing. Spirit is always looking to protect you, regardless of what it is that your faith is in. So when you find yourself in this path of, I don't know what to do, that's when you reach down and you remind yourself that that's what your spirit is there for, to guide you when you're in dark places, to help you find that light, to remind you that that light is inside of you, because spirit is always connected to you from the minute you breathe. From the minute we breathe life into ourselves, spirit is there. And in the minute when we leave, spirit leaves with us. So it's not about focusing on what it is that we don't have. It's always about focusing on the things that are right there. Right? So then I took that information and was like, okay, I feel better. Let me get back to creating content and doing the things that I've been doing, because there's nothing that I need to change on my own. Yeah, the world around me is changing, but spirit is still inside of me telling me to keep going. So what am I stopping for? And so today I had the luxury of going online and going on TikTok live and kind of having a little conversation. And then afterwards I had a really interesting conversation about a guy who's very closeted about wanting to at least start cross-dressing. I don't know if he necessarily wants to transition, but he mentioned that he does enjoy cross-dressing, that it was something that he had hid for many years, because every time he would approach somebody on the issue, they would turn his back on him. And he was like, how are you able to do it? Like, how are you able to be in this space and represent yourself the way that you do? And I told him I had to start loving myself. You have to start valuing yourself enough to realize that what you want matters. And there are people around you who may not agree with you on what it is that you want, but that's okay. You want those people to go away, because in representing yourself, you're able to pull in the people who enjoy you representing yourself, just because like, people can't show up for you if you don't show up for yourself. And so he was like, yeah, that's a great idea, but I got my wife and kids to live for. And I'm like, listen, in the beginning, all you had was you. Okay? And even more importantly, as a parent, how are you to teach your wife or your children what it means to love yourself if you can't step into that and be yourself? You don't have to have it figured out. You never have to have it figured out. Like, that's why we're on this journey called life. It's because we don't have things figured out. That's why spirit is there to guide you when you don't know what it is that you're supposed to do. So when you value yourself enough to love yourself, to trust the spirit inside of you, you find the light that's going to guide you the rest of the way.